Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's third video, day 10 will take us to the 7th of August, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensemble because very much around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSB2 at the end of the next 4 weeks, gets to the second half of August. I should get time back for you in a moment. Just say at first, video today was our 6 AM upload. And we've also released the European Outlook for this Thursday as well. So please check out those two videos if you'd like to do that. Please like, share, subscribe on the vids. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We're having a lovely Thursday as well. Right, to start off centering temperature, the CT is currently sitting at 18.1. Will we hang on to an 18 Celsius CT month? It's going to be so close to this. We are 18.1, so we've got like another 0.1 of a degree to play with. That's provisional until the 27th. That's probably going to tick down to 18.0. It might even go down to 17.9, but I think it's going to be quite warm over the weekend, especially so at night, so it might tick up by a tenth. So in the end, we might finish up bang on 18. It's going to be very exciting, though, to see if we can just hang on. Will we just hang on to that 18 Celsius CT month, or will we come in just underneath at like upper 17, 17.8, 17.9? Remember, we shouldn't be getting the big downwards corrections now that we used to get. So, of course, at one time, not very long ago, we used to take off about 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 of a degree sometimes. I think they've adjusted that now, so we shouldn't get those big downwards corrections that we used to get. So that should be roughly actually where we are, you know, so it's going to be very, very close, very, very close to see where this ends. So it's going to be quite an exciting finish. We will know on Monday. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. And at Leicester today, suggested locations. If you'd like to have your local town or city featured within this part of the video, please let us know in the comments. You can ask us on social media, email GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com. We are happy to feature a local town, city or location in this part of the video. So you see at the moment we're starting off a bit below average still, so that's why I think the temperature CT will probably tick down a bit more, probably go down to 18.0, maybe in 17.9, but then we've got these last couple of days here where we actually warm up again. And that will include a couple of really quite warm nights. So it is possible that we might hang on that 18 Celsius CT month. It's going to be very, very close run thing. Next week looking quite warm as well. So above average temperatures into the opening days of August. Then there's a bit of a drop in the upper air temperatures going on there towards the end of next week. And then a lift up into the second week of August. You will notice the thick green line here is taking off. That is the GFS operational run, and it does become very hot at the end. I will show you that in a moment, but our first sort of really hot GFS operational run since the heat spike last week. So I mean, it's only one run. It's clearly an outlier, although there is a warming trend that's going on through that second week of August. Clearly there's a warming trend, but yeah, you know, it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see whether the GFS is picking up on something there, whether further operational runs begin to start playing around with that possibility of another heat spike in the second week of August. Precipitation-wise, we've been on a dry weather over the next couple of days in Leicester. Probably going a bit more showery, though, into the early part of next week. And then a drying trend into the second week of August as well. So hotter and drier in the second week of August. I can show you the London ensemble. And that shows how hot the GFS operational run becomes at the end. Look at that, really taking off back up above 20 degrees at 858 day. That's sort of level we was at last week when we had the heat spike and we got to 40 degrees. So not quite as hot as that. We got to around 25 degrees at 850 HPA. Then we're getting to about 22 degrees there with the operational run today, but it is very hot. We'll probably get the temperature back into the upper 30s Celsius anyway if it verified. And there is one other ensemble member, that gold coloured ensemble member there, but it's actually even hotter. So I mean, it's something to get worried about at the moment because we're talking about the second week of August. We're still in July at the moment, so we're just going to wait and see. But this is how the heat spike in July started, of course, just with GFS operational runs seemingly outliers, but consistently going for it, and then other operational members, or other ensemble members picked up the baton, and we started to get agreement, and then started to see other models as well. So at the very, very start of this, and it's nothing more than, something that we need to keep an eye on, so let's just wait and see what happens. Temperature anomalies from the 28th of July to the 5th of August are warmer than average. Going to be a warmer than average week coming up. Precipitation anomalies from 28th of July to 5th of August. Dry than average, especially so down in the south, nearer normal in the north and northwest. Latest wind from that from earth.nullschool.net shows that we changed wind direction again today. We're bringing a little bit more of a southeasterly type flow. And so it's been a bit warm. That's the reason that the upper air temperatures from now onwards are going to be trending upwards, really, over the next few days. Right, so this is how the UK Euro run is looking for midnight on Sunday. So we've got high pressure originating from the Azores into south, like it's southmost dry, trough of low pressure in the north, bringing some showery outbreaks of rain there. Early next week, rather showery again, this area of low pressure, particularly affecting the north, but might bring a little bit of rain into the south. And then at the very end, by this time next week, we're into a cooler sort of northwesterly where it looks a little bit showery as well. So certainly the opening days of August look a little bit changeable, even if we start turning things hotter and drier second week of the month, but the first week, the opening days, look a little bit more changeable. Icons like that again on Sunday. We've got ridge down into the south, but bringing on warm weather into southern parts of the country, a little bit more unsettled further north. Early next week, a trough of low pressure will bring showery conditions into the northern half of the country, but the south will stay mostly dry. And then through to the middle of next week, again, we pull wind into like a northwesterly, so it will become a little bit cooler around middle of next week, and a little bit showery, especially so for more northern areas. GFS midnight run again with that ridge of high pressure building through the country or into south of the country during the weekend. We'll keep it mainly dry down in the south. It will be more showery in the north. And this area of low pressure deepens around Monday, Tuesday, bringing wet, windy weather into the northern half of the country. South probably getting very little rain from that, but might get a little bit. By the second half of next week, we're going to this rather cooler and more showery northwesterly type run. Then high pressure back in again as we go to around day 10. Big ridge of high pressure starting to build in from off the Atlantic. That is Sunday, 7th of August. That high pressure dominates the weather through into the second week of August. So that's the classic sort of summer scenario. Not excessively hot. We're not bringing the air up from Africa with that and Spain. So it's just like a nice big area of high pressure that will be very warm to hot. Probably gets temperatures into below 30 Celsius, something like that. 31, 32 might be knocking on 90 Fahrenheit with that down in the south and the southeast. So it's a proper hot spell, but it's not extreme with the heat. That's how the upper air temperatures not bringing plus 15 Celsius isotherm there into the south. That's the end of the GFS midnight run and that big area of high pressure. So that's like standard summer warmth and heat and dry weather, nothing too extreme. However, check out the 6Z. So this is how the GFS 6Z starts off on Sunday with a ridge of high pressure again, keeping the south mainly dry, with a little bit more showery though further north. Into the middle of next week, turns a bit cooler, more unsettled. We do pull up some quite warm air though early next week into far south, southeast actually. And then that low pressure pushes through and we pull in a cooler northwesterly for the second half next week. Then high pressure's in, same as the GFS midnight run. High pressure builds here around days 8, 9, 10 with a lot of dry and very warm weather. And that high pressure then carries on into the second week of August, dominates weather. But the difference is we start to bring up some extremely hot air from the south. So this is Wednesday 10th of August. We've got plus 20 Celsius coming back into southern parts of the country. As the high pressure slips up towards Scandinavia, we bring a heat low up from the south that brings even hotter air up with it. So, yes, this is Thursday the 11th of August. We've got the plus 20 Celsius iceberg there back in across England and Wales, plus 25 Celsius iceberg beginning to move out of northern France once again. Here we go again, everyone. And, of course, it generates into a thundery area of low pressure. So, once again, it's like a heat spike that's not sustained for more than a day or two. By the 13th of August, we begin to cool things back down again under that thundery area of low pressure. The warning signs are there. If you're enjoying the video, then please do you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. everyone for doing that, and drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much for doing that. We need to put on around 20 more subscribers now to get to 14.2k, so please give us a sub. I thank you all so very much for doing that. This other gem is looking on Sunday again, reaches into the south, but not dry, quite warm weather. Then through the early part of next week again, the south has quite a bit of dry and warm weather. Lower pressure further north will be cooler and more showery, and then rather unsettled around the middle part of next week, rather showery with this cool sort of northwesterly wind. Beyond that, high pressure builds in with the GEM, turning things much drier and warmer by the end of the first week of August. That's the 7th of August as far as we go, with high pressure again in over the top of the country, looking pretty hot, plus 15 Celsius iceberg there is in across England, Wales. That'll get temperature into below 30 Celsius. Of course, it's hotter than that to our south. France looking really quite hot, and I see no reason in a day or two beyond that, if that high pressure just eases a little bit further eastwards, I see no reason why that very hot air over France couldn't start pushing northwards. The ECM daily looking like this again, a ridge into the south on Sunday, bringing quite a dry weather into southern areas and very warm too. Will be more showery though, with low pressure further north, then low pressure pushing through the country in the middle of next week, turning things cooler and more showery in all areas. And then back comes a high pressure as we come to the end of the first week of August. Well, we see the cool side of a ridge with the ECM, bringing the wind from more of a northerly or northwesterly direction. So just a little bit cooler with the ECM at day 10 compared to the other model output. We'll find out in a moment how that sits within the ECM ensembles. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. Showery in the north over the next few days, a lot of dry weather though in the south. A band of wet weather sort of setting up through Ireland into North Wales and into northern England as we go into the weekend, mostly dry on either side. That will be very warm into the southeastern corner as well. Very going to about next weekend, showery, especially for central and northern areas. Very little rain though, getting through into the south, so for the south, southeast, the dry spell goes on. And then we're back under high pressure anyway by around days 8, 9, 10. And that takes all areas back to dry weather away from far north of Scotland anyway. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble day 4, day 10, which gets us to the 7th of August. So the Icelandic Met Office, 17 members of ECM ensembles have high pressure just to our west, so a lot of dry weather with that. A little bit on the cool side, though, winds coming in from northwesterly direction. So it does include the patrol and also the operational run 14 with high pressure just to our west. Again, a lot of dry weather coming in back, but a little bit on the cooler side with winds in from a northwesterly direction. With that one, 10 with high pressure sitting right in over top of the country, mainly dry and potentially very warm with that, and another 10 high pressure right in over top of the country, again very dry and warm with that. That's kind of in line with like GM and GFS and midnight run up to day 10. In 2 weeks time, are there any going for extreme heat? Let's have a look. So this is the 12th of August. 20 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure just to our north then. And we bring in winds from an easterly direction with that. So that will be dry and very warm to hot. Not extreme, probably, because not bringing up wind from Spain and North Africa with that. Would be like easterly rather than southerly. Nevertheless, it's a very warm to hot scenario. 16 again with high pressure over top of the country, mainly dry and really warm with that. And 15 again with high pressure right over top of the country. So all options are involving high pressure at both day 10 and day 14. They are differing in the exact placement of the high pressure in terms of, you know, how hot or how warm it will be. And none there going for light high pressure to the east and pulling up those really hot southerlies that the GFS 06z was showing for around that period, 11th, 12th of August. But nevertheless, they're all involving high pressure. The dry spell set to continue, therefore, you know, further on into August, and a lot of warm to quite hot weather likely too. So that's me too finally, and then we're done with the video today. So this is the 500 millibar height anomaly prediction for week 1, taking from the 28th to the 28th of July to the 3rd of August, with high pressure just to our west, some low pressure to the north. We're bringing the wind from a northwesterly direction, so a little bit on the cool and showery side with that. We go through into week 2, which is the 4th to the 10th of August. The high pressure then sits to our north and backs into Scandinavia. That pulls the wind in from an east or a northeasterly direction, or an easterly direction. So that can be very warm and will be having a lot of dry weather with it as well. Week 3 is going to be the 11th to the 17th of August, with high pressure reaching in from the Azores to Scandinavia, some low pressure around Iceland. That could be turning things very warm, actually, for a time. We're not all that far away from being able to bring up some hot air, some very hot air from the south, potentially, as that's mid-August. Might include quite a hot period. And then this is week 4, which is the 18th to 24th of August. So high pressure then sort of breaking again, but ridge putting out into the Atlantic, something going over to Eastern Europe, and lower pressure perhaps coming in from the northwest, turning things a little bit more showery and cool, I would have thought, there for week 4. We shall see. I think we have to keep an eye on those GFS operation runs. Today's very hot GFS 06z operation run up the end might be an outlier, and, you know, it might just be a one-off. If we start seeing this becoming a recurring feature in the GFS operationals over the next few days, and then if GFS ensemble members start going in that direction too, then we might be heading for another spell of very hot weather in the second week of August, but let's wait and see. Okay, if you've enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe as well. Drop a comment and say what about this and all of our videos. And we thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, we're done then today. So as I say, we've got to put on around 20 more subscribers now to get to 14.2k. So please give us a sub, and thank you so much. Right, we're done with today's videos then. We're going to be back tomorrow at 6 AM, upload our January Friday and a 10 to 14 dayer coming up for you tomorrow as well. So keep checking back to the channel for more. And of course, we'll be looking to see whether there's any more hot runs, you know, within the GFS operations. So all eyes on the GFS ops, I think, tomorrow. But for today's videos, that's all for now. You enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and thanks for watching.